Hello everybody, Dr. Walker here, lecture module 8b. This I'm hoping will be the middle part of 3 total lectures here on security evaluation. I want to take in part B some thoughts to follow up on the bond valuation that we worked on. And what I want to talk about here is basically, first off, reinvestment risk. Okay, reinvestment risk. What is that about? And just an example as well. So imagine really that any bond, except the pure discount bond, okay, is subject to reinvestment rate risk. Okay. So reinvestment rate risk is a form of interest rate risk. So it's a kind of interest rate risk. Now, a bond might be default free, sure. It could be guaranteed to make its promised interest and face value payments. But reinvestment rate risk is a real risk that you have to consider. And what we mean is that there is uncertainty about the rate of return at which you're able to reinvest your coupon payments that you get from your bond. Right? Interest rates are going to change through time. So you don't really know what your reinvestment rate will be in advance. Thus, right, yield to maturity assumes that you're really reinvesting at your original rate. See, so that assumption is not totally accurate, right? So let's put into place an example. Let's take this as a simple illustration, that you get a default free bond, right? So it's a default free bond. You're going to get your payments, okay? This assumption just helps us focus on this issue of the reinvestment rate risk. And let's say that you paid, let's say that you get it for $995. Okay. It's going to mature, let's say, in 1 year. It's a 1-year bond. Okay. It pays interest, semi-annual interest. And the coupon rate, let's say, is 8%. Right? And it has a face value of 1,000. So, right, you should be able to tell what you'll get every 6 months, right? So you're going to get $40, right, in 6 months. And then you're going to get another $40, right, in 12 months. And that is the maturity, so you'll get $1,000, right, in 12 months also. Let's say the semi-annual yield could be calculated. You should try that on your own, right? The semi-annual yield is 4.2661%. What is that? That's, well, $40 in 6 months on your $995 investment, right? That yields to maturity. Yield to maturity. That runs 8.7. 142%. Okay. Now, whether you actually earn that rate over the whole year, it really depends on how you might reinvest the first $40 coupon payment for that, for that next sequence of 6 months. Let's say you're able to reinvest the first coupon payment. Let's say you're able to do it at 4.2661%. So you got your $40 6 months from now, and you're going to get it reinvested. And let's say the interest rate is 4.2661. So what you're going to have is a future value. All right, so I got $40 at 1.042661 raised across my first period. That's 6 months, right? I'm going to have $40 plus 1,000 so 40 right, growing across that 6-month period, plus my 40 from the next payment, plus 1,000, which is what I get on the face value of the bond at maturity. So I got 1,081.7064. Right, so we're going to see a 1-year rate of return. 1-year rate of return. Okay. So you invested, right? Remember, you invested this on $995. Right? So you got $995. Well, that's equal to 1,081.7064 over 1 plus r raised to the 1. So we just got to solve for r. Now, in this case, r here is 8.7142%. Okay. Now that's the same value you would calculate as the yield to maturity on the bond. Right? Now, what's tricky about this is suppose that the interest rate actually falls. Let's say it falls dramatically. During the first 6 months you own the bond. So at the end of the 6 months, when you're going to get your $40, let's say interest rates are running at 4%. They fall to 4%, so if you reinvest your $40 amount, you're getting 2% on that for the rest of the year, right? So you reinvest $40. I got that 6 months from now. And you're going to get 2%, right? I'll put that in perspective for the rest of the year. Yeah, right. You have that 6-month period, so you have to take half the potential earnings for across those 6 months, right? So notice what now, your virtue value here is 40. It goes up by 1.02 across that 1 6-month period. And you get 40 and 1,000. And now you're getting 1,080 and 80 cents. Right? So your true 1-year rate of return now it equals, so you gotta go 995. It's equal to 1,080.80 over 1 plus r to the first. Solving for r now, you get 8.6231%. Right, that is not the yield to maturity that you calculated earlier, right? The YTM that you calculated before was 8.7142%. So the difference is you see an actual yield different from, right, this expected yield. It might not seem like a big deal. It might not be such a big deal. But in actuality, it is a big deal. The longer the bond is to the maturity, and the more money that you have invested in bonds, the bigger is this impact on your wealth. And in fact, right, investment bankers basically prosper or fail on what are called basis points. On even 1/100th of 1%, or 100 basis points is equal to 1%. So implied in our calculation of the yield to maturity on a bond, we're assuming that we're reinvesting all the coupon payments at that rate. But the actual reinvestment rates can differ from that rate. So our future wealth is either less than or more than the yield to maturity indicates. So this is a risk. It's referred to as the reinvestment rate risk, a kind of form of interest rate risk. Okay. And notice here that investors are subject to reinvestment rate risk if any coupons are paid, even if the bond is default free. Right. So let's talk about price risk, the other topic I wanted to mention. Now this other type of interest rate risk here is relating to the price changes on fixed income securities. Okay. So this is a kind of risk which comes into the picture. Say, if you decide not to hold the security to maturity, okay, Let's do our example of a price risk situation. Let's say you buy a bond for $11.42. Let's say it has a 10-year maturity. Exactly 10 years, okay? Has a 9% coupon. Has a $1,000 face value. Okay? Let's say it pays its interest semi-annually. Well, let's suppose that the bond is thought to be default risk free, okay? So the interest and the face value payments are going to be certain. And let's say you hold the bond till maturity. Now, you're going to get an effective annual rate of return there of 7.12%.
Well, I know.
So that's your effective annual rate of return. Pause.
I could call people.
Yeah, I know. I just got to pause. Hold on. I don't think I can pause. I'll just have to close.